What's hood with you? This is Opinionated 3000. I'm your host, Mr. Opinionated. Let's jump right in and see what they got cooking.
You need more training. I need more training. You need sacrifice. You got a mental problem. He said he's gonna catch a body. Everything recorded. Him right here. He said he's gonna catch a body out here. Everything he came up to me with a stick.
On August 23, 2020, police officers on patrol in Chicago made the abrupt decision to detain a young man by the name of Leroy Kennedy. One moment Leroy was going about his day, and the next, he was being tackled, his face ground into the pavement. He was resisting arrest, officers would later inform him. But the original reason they stopped him seemed to mystify everyone, including the officers themselves, who seemed intent on behaving unprofessionally throughout the encounter. Right away, we're situated.
Look at dude's body language. Yeah, buddy, right there standing out front. He seemed like he a thug. You can't tell me that the police don't behave like they're gang members. They seem like they're like the definition of an organized gang. And if you're out committing police brutality, and that's like a mission that you're on, if you see somebody out here, you're going to rough them up instead of just locking them up for what they do wrong. You got to, throw them a couple elbows or whatever. You got to assert your dominance over people. Then you're behaving like a gang. And the reason I have an issue with cops, people are always saying, well, those are just a couple of rotten apples, and certain fields can't have rotten apples. You wouldn't accept it from pilots, a couple of rotten apples. Every once in a while, they crash a plane full of people into a building. That's not acceptable. It's not acceptable from police to be. They got people's lives in their hand, just like pilots do. If they're having a bad day and they decide to go out and take it out on people that they're dealing with, that's more than just a bad apple. That's a dirty cop. And if another cop sees him doing that, their main job is to protect and serve. You're not a good cop if you're not stopping that bad cop. That means you're a bad cop. You're not protecting and serving. That's your main job as a street cop. So if you ever see it happen and you don't do nothing, you're in the same bag as he is. You can still be a halfway good person and a bad cop. When you're not in a uniform, I don't think you're just running around beating people up and all of that. But when you get on put on that uniform, if that's how you behave, then you're a bad cop. I had to get in that rant. I've been wanting to say that for so long, but I just try to keep it to myself. I've been trying to keep the peace, but come on, when you see this, how many videos could you do and not speak on the foul shit that's in front of us every day?
Seemed intent on behaving unprofessionally throughout the encounter. Right away, we're situated in the middle of a chaotic scene fueled by an incensed mob. They've just witnessed a violent incident instigated by the police themselves.
Hey, no, chill out. You
An unarmed man.
Just you. Take the come on. You just busted. You playing, bro. You playing, bro.
And I feel like anybody walking down the street that sees something like that, those dudes wasn't with him. They just happened to see what happened to him and they rush over there. Anybody who sees something like that is going to be passionate about that. And your passion is only going to be controlled so long. Eventually that passion is going to turn into something else. It's provoked. It's with cause. When are the police officers who claim to be good cops going to stand up and do something about it?
Take it off. Hell you. You just this face up like this. Man, you just this face up. Let you stand on that bitch. You was trying to fight me, man. You was trying to fight the trying to fight you. You don't want to hold my hand. God, you touching me for no reason, bro. I ain't got shit on, bro. I ain't take off running. I walked off. I ain't run. I walked off. On my man, I'm criminal. Stop pushing him, bro. I'm gonna get some medical attention over there.
You might expect that once Leroy is in the back of the squad car, his defenders will disperse. However, this seems to have...
Why would you expect that? Just because they stop whooping his ass don't mean that he didn't just get his ass whooped. Why would you say, so y'all still gonna come up with this narrative that they're doing something wrong after we just witnessed the police take this man down by his face first? But they still doing something wrong because they not finna have that shit no more.
The exact opposite effect.
Bro, back up. I'll be back. Back up.
Look, that man going through it right now.
The chaotic scene has quickly evolved to what appears to be a standoff between officers and civilians. The officer, having put his hands around Leroy's neck and having thrown him to the ground, definitely doesn't appear to have been warranted. While exercising force against a fleeing suspect is allowed, so long as the force is reasonable under the circumstances, Leroy didn't appear to have been a fleeing suspect.
No, he wasn't.
He also didn't appear to have been resisting, nor did it seem he had any weapons on his person. There must be specific, articulable facts to support the exercise of force, and here we aren't seeing any.
Give me some space. I'm trying to get medical attention, bro. Because you did. It is what it is. Ain't no that's why we don't like y'all. Should kill y'all. I hate y'all.
Y'all gotta watch what y'all say though. Cause you saying we should kill y'all bitch ass. That's taking it to a different place. Now they can lock you up for years for just making that statement. So rebel, but rebel in a sensible way. I feel where you're coming from now. It's hard to control what you say when you see something just so outrageous happen right in your eyes. It's hard to control that anger, the passion, the concern, all of that is just all exploding all at one time. So I feel where you're coming from. But you got to pick your words a little wiser than that. I don't want to see nobody out there get locked up for nothing.
Why y'all with me, bro? I walked off, bro. Did you move my hands? Bro, you want to search me, bro? How about the cop you search me? You can search me hands down, everything. I don't have nothing on me.
Handling in the cuffs. Take control now.
I got you, bro.
Okay, now disregard, take a disregard. Disregard Hamlin in the cuffs. Augusta and Hamlin, take a disregard.
It also doesn't help that more police are joining the scene by the minute. It's hard to say who's most upset, Leroy, the crowd, or the police. One of the officers who participated in the arrest appears to be particularly agitated and takes it out on the crowd.
Let's go then. Skinny take that off. 140-pound ass. Right. 140 pounds.
Listen, that's a cop saying that 140-pound pussy. That's a cop saying that. How many of y'all thought it was one of just the random civilian saying it? That was a cop calling one of the civilians 140-pound pussy. Protect and serve.
Take that off. Yeah. He wasn't like that when he was just out here. He was not like that. not like that. He said he got his own now. When you off the clock, he gonna catch you every day. That's all that for, bro. Ain't nobody trying to tell you.
I appreciate you guys. Stay right there, it's fine.
Ain't nobody trying to tell you, bro. Why you getting all tough and down like that?
Sticks and all the people picking up sticks and pussy ass motherfucker. Thank you.
That man was not like that. Me just slammed him on his head.
We did, we know. We're not lying about it.
Right.
Okay? What the force for? Please start fighting.
You hear the cop? He said, yeah, we did it. We're not lying about it. But they're saying that the group shouted that. Group shouting. The cop said that.
We know. We're not lying about it. Right. Okay? What the force for?
It's like he's saying, yeah, I did it. And what you gonna do? We ain't lying about it. Am I taking that wrong? That's what it seemed like he's saying. He's got that kind of energy, like he want all the smoke. But it's just because he's got that uniform on. You can hear the people in the background saying, take the badge off and all of that. We always say that. Every once in a while, you'll see a cop do it, like actually take his gun off, take his gun belt off or whatever, and catch them hands. Now, I did see one cop beat the dude up when he took his gun off. He beat the dude up. His partner tried to start helping, and he told his partner to back off. He got it and just kept beating on the dude. Yeah. I mean, you got to respect something like that. But these cops right here are completely out of pocket. 100% out of pocket.
Start fighting around. He choked him through the gate. He's trying to talk to him. You pulled up.
And the cop that act like he want all the smoke, they need to get him off the scene, because he's gonna him and the cop that made the initial contact that actually slammed dude down by his face. Their presence is going to keep the crowd going. The Hispanic dude or Indian, whatever. I'm not trying to be racist or nothing like that. I just don't know what race he was. The cop that wasn't black, that's got the negative energy, he's antagonizing them. He's actually arguing back and forth with the people. And you're not going to get nowhere doing that. So both of them need to sit in a squad car somewhere. Because all they're going to do is like, they're inciting, their presence is inciting a riot.
That's all I want. You don't need that. Yeah, because he slammed him on the He did. I understand. But he was coming up behind him, okay? Trying to pull him away.
See, dude should not be talking to them, period. He got the wrong kind of energy. He wants something to happen. He's somebody who I could picture accidentally shooting somebody.
You need more training. I need more training. You need sacrifice.
They do.
You got a mental problem. He said he's gonna catch a body. Everything recorded. Him right here. He said he's gonna catch a body out here. Everything
He came up to me with a stick.
He should not be a cop.
Catch a body today.
And the crazy part is they in the right place for something to go down. Chicago is like a different. I mean, it's in the heart of America, but it seems like it's somewhere else. I mean, that whole energy in Chicago is different. Every place I've ever been in Chicago, it felt like, hey, it could happen right here, right now, no matter what time it was. I mean, look at Duck. Duck died on like one of the busiest, most wealthiest streets in Chicago in broad daylight. It was like their Rodeo Drive. And he got shot in broad daylight several times. These cops are actually somewhat lucky. I know that sounds crazy, but man, when you look at like one of those weekends like Labor Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, where people are relaxing and barbecuing and having drinks, like in Minneapolis, shit gonna go wrong on like the 4th of July. And it'll probably be like, 3 people shot, something like that. Chicago's in the high double digits or early triple digits. Like a few years ago, I was paying attention to the 4th of July weekend, and like 77 people got shot. It's like, damn. Like they really down for what they talking about.
You might think you misheard the officer, but he did in fact say that he was looking to catch a body, and as he continuously points out to the crowd, it's all on video.
You picked up a bag. It's on camera. I did. I will.
He didn't. You see it? He said he did say it, and he will. Dude didn't come at him with nothing. He's just out there talking. So he said he did say it, and he will catch a body. Y'all do understand. Catching a body means he'll kill somebody. How is this man still on the police force?
And as he continuously points out to the crowd, it's all on video.
You picked up a bag. It's on camera. I did. I will.
Everything has gotten out of hand, and the officer needs to quickly separate Leroy from the scene. Considering the number of members of law enforcement who've responded to the scene, at least 1 to 2 should be making efforts to de-escalate the situation and to calm the civilians. However, what we've seen isn't consistent with this. At this point,
Fuck calling the civilian. Somebody needs to calm the officer. Dude is reckless out there. His words could start something.
it's clear that the officers have lost control of the situation. Irate civilians have surrounded the cruiser, and Leroy should have already been transported away from the scene.
I wasn't. Your ass was inside. I'm intimidated.
There's something obviously wrong with him, bro.
The situation is now completely out of control. Officers are behaving unprofessionally, which tarnishes the law enforcement badge. While they should never let their emotions be seen, their anger has gotten the best of them. The civilians have a right to challenge authority, and the officers have no right to speak to the civilians the way they are, including the name-calling and threatening to lock them up as you just witnessed. As the police car...
Why are you pretending that all they're doing is threatening to lock him up? He threatened to kill one of them. Are you trying to not talk about that part of it? He didn't just threaten to lock people up. He's not just arguing. He said he will kill one of them.
car begins to pull away. The officer continues shouting insults out the window.
Make more than you, bro.
That's the gang that needs to be stopped. The gang in the blue.
Relax. I got you, okay? I got you. We got you. Ain't nobody gonna treat you badly. I'm gonna get you water and everything, okay?
But based on the police treatment Leroy has experienced so far, though, these promises likely don't mean much. Back where the crowd is gathered, several bystanders attempt to explain how the situation has played out so far. The response they get is lackluster at best, if not outright dismissive.
Let me go see his sister, man.
Put their hand on him.
He jumped out, he grabbed him. He didn't try to get aggressive with him. He picked him up and slammed him, man. On the guy in the car.
How do celebrities like Justin Bieber and The Rock generate hundreds of millions of dollars? It's actually not what you think.
When the black gentleman told him to not touch him, the officer got mad and choked him. And then he tried to resist. The officer took him and slammed him on the ground. He wasn't doing nothing.
Why did the police officer get out of the car?
We have no idea. They parked right here. They parked right here. They were sitting down right here. He started walking towards them. The gentleman got up and started walking away. I guess he didn't want no problem. They never found nothing wrong. He wasn't doing anything wrong. The black officer tried to corner him off, ran and chased him.
Yeah, they still never said what I think dude name is Leroy. I could be wrong, but I think it's Leroy. They still didn't say what Leroy did. I hope by the end of the video, though, they at least say what happened, so you can see like how this escalated. Did it escalate for a good reason? Did this man kill somebody? Did he rob somebody? Was Leroy just the biggest thug ever that's just out just creating the most havoc? Or did all of that happen just because Leroy walked off when the police pulled up?
And blocked him off. He said, man, I ain't did nothing. Don't touch me. The officer grabbed him and started choking him.
I'm sorry. All right. My suggestion is, if you want to make a complaint, you can call COPA. But obviously, I mean, it looks like the guy's under arrest for something.
What that something is remains to be seen. An officer needs to take charge of the situation and give the disgruntled witnesses a voice. They need for someone to listen and to feel they've been heard. They should be given the option to fill out statements and potentially compose formal complaints. Even if the complaints don't move forward, perception is everything, even so much as giving the witnesses business cards as a way to build trust. For now, officers clear the original scene and arrange to meet EMS at a more controlled location. However, not all of the officers go quietly, fanning the flames of unrest before leaving the area.
Oh, we come out thick. That's how we do. I'm just talking to the community, bro. That's it. I still love you, though. I still love you. I love you, Papa.
They need attention.
That is wrong.
All right, let's go. They just need attention. I don't want to give them attention.
Just a few blocks away, one of the officers waiting for EMTs to assess Leroy finally thinks to ask a rather important question.
We jumped.
What y'all doing? I'm trying to see what y'all arrested for.
What's he arrested for?
They instantly started fighting.
But you don't know what you're arrested for? I'm to be arrested for. Hey, no, hey, see my face? Do you see my face?
As we saw in the arrest footage, this isn't exactly true. It seems that the police are getting creative. Police chased Leroy down, and it was only after they laid hands on him that he began to flail.
They started grabbing on Ridge as soon as we walked up, grabbing his back, grabbing the back of his vest, pulling him away. We didn't even say.
This claim may be true. Conflict once again flares between Leroy and the officers while they wait for EMS. Even rookies are taught not to engage with a yelling detainee. While it would go a long way in the court of public opinion and among a jury when footage shows officers not engaging, this particular officer opens the door to the cruiser and confronts Leroy. His act is clearly unprofessional.
The way dude snatched that door open tells you that he didn't have good intentions.
Conflict once again flares between Leroy and the officers while they wait for EMS.
Watch how he snatched the door.
Even rookies are taught not to engage with a yelling detainee. While it would go a long way in the court of public opinion and among a jury when footage shows officers not engaging, this particular officer opens the door to the cruiser and confronts Leroy. His act is clearly unprofessional. In addition, the backwards worn baseball hat wouldn't be a standard issued uniform item. Police already saw that Leroy had a phone during the arrest, the search, and when they initially placed him in the car.
Injuries from the takedown? Yeah. I see you. Yeah. Oh, Antelope Gray, 514 891 Antelope, I'm gonna sue all you. Antelope Gray, I'm gonna lose y'all job. Antelope Gray, I'm a searcher. Harry, ring the web, yo, Robinson on Long Clark. What else they got home? I'm finna get all you. Watch this.
Soon EMTs arrived to tend to Leroy's injuries.
We say that we gonna do something, we gonna sue them, and they gonna get fired and all of that. More people need to actually follow through with that. I'm not saying that it should be some kind of scam where anytime the cops say something, you should sue them or anything like that. But if you hurt their pockets, eventually they're going to start training these people better or hiring better cops so that they don't get their pockets hurt. If that's the route that we have to take to do it, then that's what we should do.
He's escorted out of the police car and into the ambulance while police decide who will accompany him to the hospital.
He still don't know what he's locked up for.
Before getting underway, police take the opportunity to search Leroy again, but nothing incriminating has appeared in his pockets since the last time they checked. With that out of the way, they can finally head to the hospital. In addition to the scrapes on his face, Leroy was treated for injuries to his hands and wrists. There were also concerns about a concussion due to the force with which Leroy's head hit the pavement. While he has recovered physically, he's since come forward to say the encounter left him traumatized.
I don't understand why you still up.
What's up?
Why you still up?
Why am I still what?
Why the you still up?
Why am I still what?
You heard what I said.
It's a good question because you've certainly noticed Leroy still hasn't been told why he's under arrest. While the United States Supreme Court has held that it's good police practice to tell a suspect why they're being arrested when taken into custody, the Supreme Court has found no constitutional requirement to do so. Very few states statutorily require this in the United States. It's an exception far from the norm.
That's crazy.
Patel 18129.
Damn sure gonna know. When a lawyer come holler at y'all, you damn sure gonna know. You damn sure finna get y'all food.
Alright, that's good.
Like, you damn sure finna get y'all food. But tour,
Best of luck to you, buddy.
1829.
Best of luck to you, buddy.
It's gonna be good luck. You just got 200,000 for the same. Got good luck. Why you grab me like that? Why you grab me for that? I don't get why he touching me, bro.
When Leroy's arrest came under investigation, it seemed police had very little to say for themselves by way of explanation.
All right. All right. We'll put everybody else as offenders that grabbed you. We'll do that on the case report. We'll start head on. Yeah, the description or whatever. We'll get the camera. All right, head on in.
It's clear that the sergeant is aware the situation has been botched. The story officer settled on was that Leroy looked directly at the officers as they drove by, widened his eyes, and then walked away. It appears that Leroy was violently arrested for the serious crime of looking surprised. The official report went on to mention that police suspected Leroy might have had a gun when he reached for his pocket, but as they later discovered, all he could have been reaching for was his phone or glasses. It seems the real reason Leroy was stopped was simply a case of bullying or misuse of power.
That's
Leroy
100%.
was charged with resisting arrest and aggravated assault against a peace officer. All charges were dropped a few months later, thanks to the body camera footage which proved Leroy was not the instigator. Leroy proceeded to sue the City of Chicago Police Department for personal damages, as well as to ensure this sort of situation doesn't happen again. He was ultimately awarded $195,000.
I could have sworn he said he knows somebody who got 200,000 for something like that as he was getting out the ambulance.
You just got 200,000 for the same.
Best of luck to you, buddy.
It's gonna be good luck. You just got 200,000 for the same. Got good luck. Why you grab me like that? Why you grab me?
By report, misuse of Leroy was personal damages, as well as to ensure this sort of situation doesn't happen again. He was ultimately awarded $195,000. Clearly, the situation should have been handled much differently. While police training has progressed over the years, it must continue to evolve and grow with the times. De-escalation, implicit bias, and wellness of law.
I understand de-escalation and everything. That's important. But that cop who said that he was going to catch a body, Hispanic fella or Indian or that guy, he's never going to de-escalate. He could have de-escalated them. It's that not that he doesn't know how. They taught it. He just don't care. He's a antagonist. He's going to push the envelope. He's got a chip on his shoulders. He's got to prove himself. That's the type of cop who got bullied in school. So he probably went off to the military so he can flex his muscles there, came back from the military, and then became a cop. But them becoming the people who got bullied, they become cops to get back. It's like, if I can flex my authority on these people, and it makes them feel like a bigger person since they was chumps in school.
Law enforcement officers are a few of the mandatory training programs officers must complete. In addition, they're now educated on reporting misconduct they see other officers committing. While officers like these should be a thing of the past, we still have a long distance ahead, evidenced by what we just witnessed.
We got a real long way before everything's the way it's supposed to be. I was trying to keep it real light tonight. I've done like 6 videos. So I was expecting everything to be fun and all of that, but it ended up taking a dark turn. It's going to be the last one I do. I done let these folks take me off my square. All right, y'all leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think. Mash that like and subscribe. 3 stacks out.